How about now? Aha, I think I fixed it. Can everyone hear me? I had the audio muted, I think. I just turned off the sound on my other computer because it would get echo. And okay, so we're live now. This is Epic Drone Show, episode 7. Again, I apologize for the hiccups in the beginning, and it's a new learning experience. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through a few topics. I know you may have watched some of my previous Epic Drone shows, and what I want to do now is really embrace the live format. And can everyone hear me when I'm looking towards the camera? Can you hear me right now? Great. I'll stop staring at the mic over there. So we're going to... Oh, okay, no audio. There should be audio coming. You may have a little bit of a delay. Some viewers are not getting audio. So you can type your comments within the video. Currently, right now, we have about 40 people live that are watching. So, post your comments, ask questions. And what I'll do, this show, there's no true format for it yet. This is episode 7. You've probably seen some of my shows were live, some of them were not live, but you were still able to comment and share. So this will become an uploaded video after this live broadcast concludes. It will be a video that will be available on youtube.com/IrixGuy, as well as facebook.com/IrixGuy. So if you couldn't tune in live, that's okay. A few things today. I know a lot of people, and there's actually been a lot of controversy surrounding the new drone that's coming out. A lot of people feel that it may be DJI Phantom's first true competitor. And that drone, and a lot of people bash it because the way I say it, the Typhoon H. Well, the Typhoon H or H, whatever you want to call it, has anyone gotten their hands on it? I know there's a YouTuber that I respect a lot, Simon Newton. He's over there in, I think in England or somewhere, or Great Britain. And he's posted some videos, and they look pretty good. But from the videos he's posted, at least, I've noticed that that some of the colors from the camera look kind of washed out. Meaning that if you look at a video that's filmed with, say, a Phantom 3 Pro or a Phantom 4, for example, you may notice how good the color is. It's called saturation. Now, sure, if it's not that great out of the camera, you can always, by utilizing a program such as Final Cut Pro 10, you can adjust the saturation levels within post-production. But that's not always optimal. Something that I'm concerned with what I've seen so far with the Typhoon H is the video quality. Also, if you do a search, you've probably found numerous reports of the gimbal seizing up on the Typhoon H. So I still haven't received mine. I'm anxious to receive it, field test it, and give it an honest review. Comment from a fan right here said, I had a weird thing happen today flying the Phantom 4. I got a warning that prop guards are on, but I don't have any prop guards on. Anyone else ever have that happen? Tried restarting, same thing. Actually, that's interesting you say that, because when you install I don't know if you've installed the quick disconnect prop guards on the Phantom 4 yet, but there's those little bitty where the engines are, and then on the tip of each of the 4 legs or wings, whatever you want to call them, there's that little clear plastic piece, and that actually all 4 of those pop out, and then you insert the quick disconnect prop guards. So I'm assuming that by inserting those, maybe there's some sort of sensor that sees that plastic that's not clear and assumes that the prop guards are on, because if you attach your quick disconnect prop guards, you'll find that the app likely says obstacle avoidance has been disabled because you're using prop guards. It may or may not say that. It did for me. So there's some way that it detects it. A great question, something we should definitely all investigate in more depth, because that's one of the obstacle avoidance is one of the Phantom 4's claims to fame. Something that a lot of people like. I admire it from a drone safety perspective, because it's definitely something just like a seatbelt or an airbag in a car. or a motion sensor in a car where you're backing up and it starts beeping or whatever. I never trust that technology. I assume it doesn't exist simply to be safe, because if people are dependent upon those safety features, they're likely going to find themselves in a world of hurt should that safety feature fail. But knowing that it's there, that it's a feature available in the Phantom 4, it adds a greater sense of security. Should there be like a small tree or something when you're flying line of sight, to be safe and responsible, that maybe it'll see that and maybe it'll prevent you from destroying your drone. But who knows? Again, I don't trust it. Someone here says, DJI have been behind the bashing, or it would not be surprised as Sony did it with the Xbox. Says, I have seen beautiful videos and depends on what settings you're using. I guess that's in regards to the Typhoon H. And then another comment says, the Phantom 4, you're stuck with the same camera, but the Unique are going to give you the choice of cameras to use. The first is a night vision camera to come. Now, if you're a fan of the DJIs, you probably know that the Inspire, and I'm not a fan of the Inspire. I'm not a DJI fanboy. I love the DJI Phantom, but I hate the Inspire 1. It's too big. It's too heavy. But one thing that's nice about the Inspire 1 is the modular camera. And that's something that when you're looking at the Typhoon H on paper, that modular camera capability brings a lot of excitement to the table. And something that, aside from the night vision camera that you just mentioned, what I would really like to see on a drone is a spherical camera. And actually here on IrixGuy's Adventure Channel, youtube.com/IrixGuy, you're going to get to see some spherical, that's a tough word to say, spherical videos very soon. I've got a spherical camera. It's got a lens on each side, so it should, when you're watching the videos from your iPhone or from a Google Chrome browser, when the video's playing live, you can actually look around in all directions. It ought to be really cool. And that's something that I plan to retrofit to my drone, and obviously it won't be gimbal stabilized, but retrofit it to the drone so that we can hopefully see some spherical drone videos. I think that ought to be a lot of fun. And why people haven't brought it to the market yet, who knows? GoPro Karma, GoPro stock price, GPRO, down in the $8 range now. I mean, that's a bargain basement. The problem, a lot of people are bashing GoPro right now. They're like, oh man, they failed to deliver the Karma. Now that's going to be the end of calendar year 2016 before it supposedly hits the street. But I think it's actually a positive in disguise, because if we get GoPro Karma in conjunction with a GoPro spherical camera, it could be a game changer. But if they don't release, GoPro may cease to exist soon. Who knows? But that's just one of the big things coming down the pipe. This box right here, this is something very cool, and I don't have a link to it yet, but I'm going to do a live unboxing here and show you what it is. Not fancy packaging. It's even like in a little Ziploc bag right here. It's kind of semi sketchy, I guess you would say. I mean, it's just, well, let's get it out and see what it is. Smells fine. Doesn't smell funny or anything. Now what this is, unlike the Phantom 4 car charger, obviously car charger meaning it could plug into a car, a boat if you have that type of thing on it, a motorcycle, motorhome, whatever you may have that has this type cigarette lighter style adapter. What's awesome about this is that you can charge your battery while you're on the go. Now this does not, like the DJI version, this does not have a controller charging option. But then again, how often do you have to recharge your controller? I mean, most of the time, I can fly my 2 batteries, and my Phantom 4 controller hasn't even really taken a dent with battery life. So, being able to recharge those batteries multiple times in the field, this is a lot more, in my opinion, cost-effective solution if you're going to be near a vehicle with a, with a cigarette-style lighter versus buying multiple batteries, incurring that additional bulk and weight when you're traveling. If you've got that car nearby, pack fewer batteries, pick one of these up, super affordable. I will post a link to this on epicdroneshow.com after this show concludes. It's just a third-party Phantom 4 battery charger. But the build quality seems really nice. What I like to look at these types of things is where the cable meets the end there and where the cable meets the end here. Again, it doesn't smell funny. It was just in a plain little brown box, but who cares? It's about the performance. So let's see. We've got some more comments trickling in here. For the price of that and availability, like I said, after this live show concludes, I'll get a link up for everyone. So what you'll be able to do after this live show concludes is check out epicdroneshow.com, and you'll be able to find it there. Just go to, when you go there, go to the shop and then the DJI Phantom 4 page, and I'll have it listed there. It's not there right now, but I'll get it up within an hour for everyone. And actually, I'll post it on my Facebook fan page too, facebook.com/IrixGuy, if you'd prefer to go there to find the link and the current availability and pricing. Have you seen another comment from a fan, have you seen the curved cam? Allows you to be a lot more creative than the P4, and the 360 camera allows for better panning. The curved cam, are you talking about, is this for a drone, or is this like a handheld spherical camera like an LG or a Ricoh Theta or or that sort of thing? So what other comments and questions do we have? What is everyone, I know we're getting pretty deep into 2016. I mean, what's everyone most excited about? Does anyone even care about the Lily camera anymore? It was supposed to hit at the beginning of the year, and now it's apparently delayed until who knows when. I mean, it's I know I was disappointed about that because I was excited to play with it. Curved cam on Unique H. Is that the factory camera that comes with a Unique H, or is that an option? So the only thing I've done a high level research project on the Typhoon H, but the camera I just saw was a CG03 or something along those lines. But I didn't really look at it in depth. It says, "Yo, did you balance your props yet? LOL. Never balanced my props. Begs a question, who here has balanced their props? Have you balanced them for the Phantom 3 series or the Phantom 4 series?" I've never done it, but I haven't noticed any video jello. But then again, I haven't, because of the prop guards, and I don't fly with my quick disconnect prop guards all the time, but if I'm landing on an unsteady surface like a rocking boat or something that's, if it's extremely windy and I feel that it may topple over after landing, I use those prop guards. So I've never damaged my props to require me to balance them. But if you balance props that are not damaged, how does it benefit you? Is it further reducing video jello, or is it providing another performance boost that I'm not aware of? And then another comment says, can set waypoints like the DJI Phantom 3 and fly the points. Curve cam allows you to fly the waypoints and go backwards or forwards along the flight path. I got you. So that's kind of like and we're talking about Typhoon H. It's kind of like I mean, every drone brand has its own verbiage for it, but it's the cable type camera, like the drones flying on the virtual wire. Is that what we're talking about? Which Phantom is better for distance, as stock Phantom 3 Pro or Phantom 4? I want to upgrade. Now, actually, great question there about the distance. Obviously, I always fly line of sight to be safe and responsible. The only exception is when I'm out over open ocean. Now, when I'm out over open ocean and there's nothing around and I'm in a safe location in the middle of the ocean, I have put my Phantom 3 Pro to the test. I've not yet been out on the boat to put my Phantom 4 to the test, so I haven't tested the range. But I have heard feedback from multiple fans indicating that the Phantom 4 range is likely less than the Phantom 3 Pro, and that's interesting because both of those drones use LightBridge, which is DJI's. When you're dealing with a Phantom 3 Pro or a Phantom 3 Advanced or a Phantom 4, you're getting LightBridge, which is the longer range, the better FPV quality. But it's interesting that people are reporting, the consensus opinion seems to be that Phantom 4 does not have the range of the Phantom 3 Pro. Again, I haven't tested it yet. The next time I'm out over open ocean in a boat, I plan to do that, but that's the only time that I would be able to test something like that. GoPro drone, yep. That's what we were talking about. GoPro drone is, let's hope it comes. GoPro Karma. I know Nick Woodman got a new yacht. He's got to pay for that gas and that cruise, so hopefully he'll execute well with the GoPro Karma. I read on DJI forum that the 3 screws holding the part that you use for quick attaching the props are loose for a lot of people. Well, actually, there's a lot of people that have commented about, we're talking about the Phantom 3 Pro here. I installed my Phantom 3 Pro quick disconnect prop guards prior to my initial flight. So the first thing I did before it had even seen the outdoors, put it on my table, I properly unscrewed and removed the screws that were factory in the Phantom 4, and then I attached the quick disconnect prop guard mounts, the longer screws that came with them, and never had a problem. That's been my experience. But again, I did it before my maiden flight. They never fell off, never became loose, never had any performance issues. Sure, I had tilted horizon issue, but that wasn't linked to quick disconnect prop guards. You can check out my video. I videoed the entire installation process if you're curious about it. And then there's and a key point you said you read on the DJI forum. To my knowledge, for Phantom 3 Pro, DJI does not have quick disconnect prop guards for Phantom 3. They do for Phantom 4, so it may be an attempt to try to discourage people from using a third party's product. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Have you tried the Litchi app on your Phantom 3? I have not tried the Litchi app, but I've had tons of fans say that they have, and tons of fans to ask if I've tried it. So it sounds like there's a lot of buzz surrounding it. Maybe I'm just a little bit afraid of trusting my $1,000+ piece of equipment in the air with a third-party app. Not saying it's not a good app, but the factory app has done everything that I've needed it to do. But I have heard there's a lot of things that people have experienced with the Litchi app that provides an enhanced level of features that you don't get with the first-party app. It says all mine P2 and Q500, you won't get jello because they have gimbals on them. The less vibrations from the blades, the better for the internal sensors. Cool. Is there a... Yeah, it's a talking about balancing props. Balancing propellers. It says, thanks, Irix. That's what I've heard. P3 Pro might be the way to go. What I encourage you to do is check out epicdroneshow.com, and you can go to the shop DJI section. I've got all the Phantom models. Phantom 1, Phantom 2, Phantom 2 Vision Plus, Phantom 3. There's 4 models of that. There's the two Wi-Fi versions, standard, Phantom 3 standard, and Phantom 3 4K. And then there's the 2 LightBridge models, Phantom 3 Pro, which is going to give you 4K, and then the Phantom 3 Advanced, which will give you LightBridge, but it will top out at 2.7K. It may even come as 1080p, but there was a firmware update that bumped it up from 1080p max to 2.7K max. If you want 4K video, if you want the best bang for your buck today, I would highly recommend the Phantom 3 Pro. If money's not an issue, I would definitely recommend the Phantom 4 because you are getting a minor set of niceties with the Phantom 4, better build quality of the drone, improved battery life, the obstacle avoidance, the way that the props attach and detach, just a lot of niceties. But if if I would, and the camera seems to be a little bit smoother. The video 4K, 30 frames per second on the Phantom 4 seems to be a little bit more stable. But to look at the video from the two cameras, Phantom 3 Pro in 4K 30 and Phantom 4 in 4K 30, the visual difference between the two cameras is negligible. But the Phantom 4 may look a little bit smoother, but it's, again, I wouldn't, it's negligible at best. So I couldn't encourage people to jump on the Phantom 4 versus the Phantom 3 Pro. It says most people who start flying RC aren't plane or heli people, probably won't balance props. Reducing vibrations is crucial for planes and helis. That's pretty cool. So it's kind of like, that's people that have been in the hobby. And see, I did RC cars way back when, and those Estes rockets. Remember those that would shoot out the parachute or whatever. But I never got into the helicopters and flying RC. I bet that was an awesome hobby, being able to go out and do that. Another question: have you heard when the unique Typhoon H will finally ship? Where's the H? Where is it? That's a great question. I don't know. I'd like to get my hands on one. I want to take it out in the field and have some fun with it and see what it does. I feel the same way. Don't trust it yet. Hearing the app crashes a lot. That was in regards to the Litchi app, third-party app. That was a viewer's comment. I haven't used the Litchi app yet. Have you periscoped with your drone yet? Periscope, is that the live streaming app like Meerkat? If so, I have not. Have you periscoped with it? Or have you done a YouTube? I think it's got YouTube live support as well. Never messed with that either. And then someone saying it's a very good app. It opens up more features. Litchi app. So a lot of people are talking about Litchi. Need to check it out. Would you ever do drone racing? Well, I mean, my honest opinion is, I don't know. I mean, it seems exciting, but for me, I don't know. I would almost rather go out and have a beer or two and watch someone else fly the drones around. It's not my personal cup of tea, but I can see how it is. It could be a positive for the drone hobby, because there's a lot of people, unfortunately nowadays, in the media are spreading all the negativity, unfortunately, but there's a lot of people that are being irresponsible with drones, and I think that drone racing could be a positive because it's putting drones into the spotlight in a positive way, because they're not flying around with cameras to film. See, that's what creeps a lot of people out there. Man, I don't like drones. These people are just flying around and spying on us. Drone pilots that are responsible are not spying on people. Drone pilots that are responsible are going out and having a good time. They're getting a good photo, a good video, capturing it from a perspective that, I mean, are you gonna stick a monopod about 30 feet up in the air? Probably not. But with a drone, you can get a really cool perspective. But yeah, I mean, like I said, drone racing's not for me, but I think it is cool, and I like the publicity that it's been receiving in the media recently. Someone says, maybe I should wait till you do a distance test on the P4. Well, yeah, I mean, it may be a while. I've got to go out on my boat, and that's well, that's a whole nother discussion with the boat. I got to take it out far enough so I can get. Anyway, that's a sore topic right now with my boat. So, but I am going to get out on the boat and get that Phantom 4 out. It says IrixGuy doesn't fly out of sight, so I don't see him ever racing. Well, that's another good point. Trouble is DJI. This is another fan comment. Trouble is DJI have made flying so easy, you don't need to know how to fly, and it's wrecking our hobby. Too many irresponsible people buying them. Actually, now I wouldn't isolate that to DJI only. I would say that any drone that has a GPS assisted flight system, such as DJI Phantom, Inspire, Unique, 3DR Solo, Parrot Bebop, list goes on. I would think that all of those, I I think the price going down is what's likely our biggest problem with getting these less than responsible people getting their hands on drones. Because if you saw my recent videos, I was up in New York City, went up there to film at YouTube Space in New York City, and I didn't take my drone because I knew that drones were illegal in New York. But when I was up there, I was like, you know what? I'm out in Central Park with my handheld camera, and I'm watching these I'm watching these little sailboats. They race sailboats in Central Park, RC sailboats, not full-size sailboats. And then they've got full-size rowboats in the lake in Central Park. And I was thinking that would have been wicked cool to chase after those boats at a responsible distance and then get some really cool skyline shots. But because of all the irresponsible drone users, apparently drones are illegal in New York, and I didn't want to end up in jail while I was up there, so I did not take my drone. But it's a disappointment. And I agree, if we don't bond together as drone hobbyists, if we don't get together and become drone evangelists and preach what's right and what's wrong from a drone usage perspective for hobbyists, what we're going to see is this hobby greatly gimped or banned. Someone says Casey Neistat flies his Phantom 4 in New York City. Been hearing rumors of possible FAA restrictions for quads. Any comments? Casey Neistat. Yeah, actually, when I went to New York, I shot him a message. I was going to do a YouTube collaboration with him. If you haven't checked out Casey Neistat, he's a very successful YouTuber. He's got tons of videos, tons more video views, tons more subscribers than I have. But I shot him a message because I'm like, hey man, I said, I don't want to fly drones when I'm up there, but I said, why don't we get together and chat about drones? And just, that's a mutual point of interest that his channel and my channel have. And unfortunately, he never responded, so I didn't do the collaboration with Casey Neistat. It says, does your gimbal squeak when turning it on? Yep, Phantom 3 Pro gimbal, Phantom 4 gimbal, when it initializes, it makes some weird noises like beep, 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 all kinds of weird noises, and that's normal. Not to say that your noise is normal, because your Phantom may have an actual issue, but with mine, I've had it's always hear a sound. Great point. I need to film a video. I'll put my mic right on it so everyone can hear the startup sound of the Phantom 4. Another comment says, we have to police it ourselves, else we won't be around much longer or forced to break the law. Well, it's I think the best way to police it is just, again, preaching the responsible drone use, and something that I've personally done. I've created the Drone Evangelist. If you go to droneevangelist.com, I've created him, and he's this character, and he preaches drone safety. I need to get some more videos out there, and maybe, what would be really cool is to get a lot of people together, get a big YouTube collaboration video, and create something that creates a lot of positive exposure for drones. Responsible drone use. Maybe start some sort of drone users group that's like safety conscious. It's not like the fraternity on campus that was non-drinking, because that was probably boring. But create something fun that embraces responsible drone use, captures buzz, spreads a message by way of social media in a positive way that's entertaining, that people will actually say, I want to watch some more of that. And hopefully they'll get the message, and they see the idiot on the side of the street with the drone and say, hey dude, watch this, I'm going to go over that golf course and harass the golfer with my drone. That idiot that's going to go out and get this hobby banned for all of us. Anyway, yeah, that makes me mad. Another comment, it says, does it mess with your P3's compass when you launch it from a metal boat? Actually, it does. And actually, if I launch it from the back of a truck or whatever, it will mess with the compass. Now, what I've done to better counteract that is I've calibrated the compass away from metallic objects, away from magnetic fields, but in close proximity of where I'm going to fly. So if I'm launching it off of a boat, I calibrate in a nearby location so that I can better avoid that. One thing that will mess it up, especially with the Phantom 4, if you're landing with on a boat or something like that with obstacle avoidance enabled, it's going to create you a lot of unwanted challenges. So keep that in mind. And it says, someone says, if everyone flies responsibly, we wouldn't have issues with flying. Well, that's the case. But I mean, it doesn't matter which hobby it is, or where in the world we are. I mean, it's unfortunately this world's full of a bunch of fools. Do you use the sport mode on your Phantom 4? I've used it once. I posted a video, the sport mode demonstration, and actually when I posted that video, I didn't even see a need for sport mode. But then all these comments started coming through, and fans were sharing all kinds of useful things. Like if you need to get in and out quickly, maybe there's questionable weather, but you want to get the great shot, the great video. Also, if you're wanting to go after something that's a faster moving object, from those perspectives, it's really cool. From a battery life perspective and a camera smoothness of video perspective, I just can't see the value of sport mode personally. But what do y'all think? Do y'all use sport mode? Do you think you will use it if you haven't used it yet? I mean, is there anything of value there? And it says, well, look on Phantom Facebook pages. They are full of people both breaking the law by wanting to go 5 or 6 miles. DJI owners seem so discontent with distance. Well, again, I don't want to isolate it to DJI because it's it would be any drone. I frown upon, and when people ask me, hey man, I need a range mod, do you like this? I never, I always comment, I don't use range mods. I don't, the Phantom 3 Pro or the Phantom 4 is already dangerous enough. I could greatly exceed visual line of sight if I wasn't careful. So, I'm anti-range mod. And again, the only time I do it is when I'm out over empty and open ocean and there's absolutely nothing around. Only reason why I want distance is to fly because I need to get to an island that is about 2 kilometers out of the ocean to see some wild seals. You know what? That's a good need for it right there. It says everyone needs to support the AMA. They are the only ones that are confronting the FAA about the issue of quads for hobby use. That's interesting. One thing I stand behind the hobbyist use of drones, but one thing that I have to do as a channel because of the size of this channel, I've got to stay out of politics, and unfortunately, that's a political thing. I will go as far as to say, I promote responsible drone use, and I feel that we need to share it with others. But I don't know. I would love to team up. What we need to do, we just need to create a group of like-minded hobbyists and just go out and spread the responsible and safe use of drone. And then someone says, I'm new to your channel. Where are you located? Well, that's a great question. Typically, I like to be a little bit of everywhere. Just got back from New York. Just got back from St. Kitts. And why have a home when you can just stay on the road? I mean, it's so much better. Unless you like to be somewhere all the time, but I prefer to just kind of get around. And thanks for being a new subscriber, by the way. Check me out on Facebook, too, if you haven't. Facebook.com/IrixGuy. I've got a lot of goodness there as well. And as people wanting to go out of line of sight are helping banning this hobby. I agree. That's exactly what they're doing. They're going out, and it's ridiculous. Have you ever heard of flight tests? Yeah, I've heard of that. It says these groups should ban law-breaking events like breaking the law. That is a way to police it ourselves. Wow, we have tons of people on right now. This live stream is blowing up. This live stream was not even scheduled, and I apologize for that. I'm going to make this a scheduled event going forward, but This has been a camera test as well. You can see my camera's starting to flake out. If you see the background, I've got to get a new. This camera I've got right here is just not good for live streaming apparently. This is your first time with a live event? It says my first time. How many people are watching? Well, I was right around 40. Right now I'm right around 28 people. But again, this wasn't scheduled. How did everyone find this event? Did it pop up on my main YouTube page? How were you notified that I was going live? It says, "Good job you're doing here." I appreciate that, because it's not me. It's a group of everyone, because as drone hobbyists, we're getting together, we're playing with the new stuff, and as I've mentioned in multiple videos, we're in the bag cell phone days, meaning that if you ever got to experience the first cell phones, you had this big bag, and then there was a cord, and there was a big handset, and you got poor service. It was heavy. It was bulky, inconvenient to carry around. The service charge for cell phone at that point in time was astronomical. That's where we are with drones right now. We're in the infancy of UAV technology, so we're blessed with the opportunity to experience these troubleshooting challenges and to share the experiences with others by way of social media. Imagine if this hobby had arrived before the internet. We wouldn't have this luxury. Before internet video, we wouldn't have this luxury. But now we're able to get together as hobbyists, share our findings, share our troubleshooting scenarios, and be able to more quickly get around these troubleshooting challenges that we'll all likely inevitably encounter. So it's really cool that we're getting to experience this new hobby with the internet. Because without the internet, what are you going to do? Wait on a magazine or something to arrive in the mail with troubleshooting tips? If you didn't, if you're not in a big area where there's a lot of other drone enthusiasts that are well versed with troubleshooting. It says YouTube notified me. I'm a subscriber. That's cool. Very cool. And someone says it came up on my mobile phone that you were live streaming. That's really cool. Popped up on my phone, alert. I got a notification. It came in on my notifications. My phone told me. Got a notification, YouTube. Very cool. Very, very cool. So, and going forward, I'm going to have a better camera for this live show, and we're going to have scheduled live shows. So I'm going to try to schedule them, at least a few days out, so that, hopefully you'll be able to attend live. But if you can't, you always remember, you go to epicdroneshow.com. You can find all the past episodes, and you can even comment on the video after it's no longer live. So it's not a deal breaker. I'd love for you to tune in live, because we can chat live like this, which is fun. Do you wish all drones were cheaper? Well, from a hobbyist perspective, I wish that they were, because then I could buy a lot more of them and play with all the the brand X, Y's, and Z's that come out. But as we mentioned earlier, I don't want them to be cheaper, because if they're cheaper, you're gonna have more idiots buying them. They're gonna go out and, oh man, I'm gonna buy this case of cheap beer, man, and then I'm gonna buy me a $50 drone. We're gonna go out and have some fun, dude. That sort of stuff. Irresponsible drone use. When the prices become too cheap, you're gonna have those people that are going out and they're gonna try to purchase that for I don't know. You know where I'm going with this. That's funny. It says people are scared of drones and so paranoid and think we're spying. Any new tech people are afraid of. Think this is where regulations may be coming from. Well, people like to complain about everything. Most people like conflict, and that's especially conflict drives the media. If all the media were doing was putting up happy-go-lucky news, this, that, and the other, they wouldn't get all the traffic that they get. And it's a conflict that they like to share. And unfortunately with drones, the media are responsible for sharing the bad side of drones and they're likely not going to put positivity into the spotlight. But we need to change that. We need to change that in a creative way. We just need to find a way to do it, to create some sort of viral video that's going to get on every news network and spread the positive uses for drones by safe and responsible hobbyists. Costa Rica, nice place. Very nice. That's the place I got to go. The only thing that's kept us from Costa Rica so far, and it's probably ridiculous I'm saying this, but apparently that's where the snake is. It's called like the 5-step snake or the 9-step snake. Apparently it's a pit viper, and if it bites you, you literally die within a few footsteps. And it would be my luck, I'd go down there and I'd be flying the drone, and the 5-step snake or whatever bite me, and then boom, no more drones. Let's see. We should not use the word drone. I think quadcopters sound better. What do you think? Actually, I like to use the word drone because it's what I think. I like to call them a drone, quadcopter, multi-rotor, whatever. But it's the media, in my opinion, that are responsible for giving drone that negative connotation. I call it whatever I want to call it, and I stick with drone because I think I don't know. I'm very anti-label and very anti. I don't know. It's crazy. Which drone brands are your favorite? Well, I will tell you that, and again, I do not like the Inspire 1. It's personal preference. Too big. It's too heavy. When I'm traveling, I can't justify the extra weight, the extra bulk, and not to mention it's a lot more expensive. But that's not why I don't like it. It's the fact that it's bulky and heavy. So from that perspective, a lot of people accuse me of being a DJI fanboy, but I will say that I am a DJI Phantom fanboy because I have flown Phantom 1, Phantom 2, Phantom 2 Vision Plus, Phantom 3 Pro, and now the Phantom 4. And you can find videos of all of them on my channel, youtube.com/IrixGuy. And I've had a great experience with all of them. Every drone, from a technological and performance perspective, has been a step forward. So I've really enjoyed the DJI Phantom platform. But with that said, I've had the opportunity to fly Unique. It was not the current model Typhoon H. Have not gotten my hands on that one yet. But the previous models were not impressed with that. The FPV performance was, even though I was flying line of sight, the FPV performance was unacceptable, and the video quality was not that good. And the thing was too big and it was too heavy. The Parrot Bebop, although I admired the small size and weight, once you added the Sky controller, this massive thing, it completely negated the small size benefits of the Bebop drone itself. Not to mention the Bebop drone, the video was software stabilized, so to look at that video in comparison to gimbal stabilized DJI Phantom series video, it's night and day. There's absolutely no comparison in quality. There's a lot more drones that have come out. A lot of people, and I've seen the videos and I wasn't impressed. I haven't had my hands on one, but 3DR Solo they had a really good marketing campaign, but they really, and this is just my personal opinion, they really botched the launch of the 3DR Solo because when it hit, they didn't have the gimbal ready. They didn't have this, that, and the other ready, and it used a GoPro, which GoPro is a good camera, but you're getting that fisheye. And if you watch my Phantom 2 videos, my Phantom 2 was my first 4K drone. And when you see those videos, if you want to check them out on my channel, you'll notice that there's very pronounced fisheye within the video. You look at my Phantom 3 Pro video or Phantom 4 video, the quality difference is night and day in my opinion. So really, and there's a lot of brands out there today. These, and I don't want to call them startup brands, but I want to call them I shouldn't say clone, and I don't mean that in a bad way. But there's a lot of lesser heard of names popping up that look similar to the DJI Phantom, and I don't know. I mean, is there a drone that everybody else has used that you absolutely love? I mean, I hate to sound like I'm fixated upon the DJI Phantom platform, but it's just, I mean, it's so good. I mean, it really is. At least for me, it has been. let's see. It says, I hate GoPros, fisheye is a PETA, and it's always crashing. Yeah, GoPro's good for action camera, but they really need to get off their butts, because they really failed with the GoPro Session. They need to release a spherical camera. They need to release a GoPro Hero 5 that really impresses, because their mounts are great. I've got just a bag chock full of GoPro mounts, so I hate to see the brand fail. They need to come out with something new that I actually want to use. See you, mate. Gotta go. Thanks for the information, IrixGuy. Well, hey, Brad. Brad's to 73. Thanks for tuning in, and this will be. I'm going to continue to get a lot more live shows, and they'll be scheduled events. So hopefully everyone will have some more notice and be able to attend. Right now we're up currently, about 30 people watching right now, so this is pretty cool. And that's 30 concurrent, so there's people that have come in and have left. Someone says, you don't have to see numbers on the drone. The number can be inside the battery area. And you know what? That's actually a great point. Obviously check with your, check your local regulations about whatever the laws may be. I'm not a lawyer. I don't share legal advice, but that's something you may want to check out, because unfortunately, and this was something that I wanted to mention are the letters on the drone. Something that I could see as a big problem would be if someone did have if they lived in a place where they had to have letters externally visible on the drone, meaning not inside of a battery compartment like a fan just mentioned. That's just setting the stage, especially if someone had that drone photographed or videoed. It's putting them in a possible situation where someone could get those numbers, put them on their own drone illegally, and commit a heinous act, and then guess who's going to be getting called? The person with those drone numbers. So someone said, "Is that your dog in the background?" Actually, it is. He had to go outside for a minute, and he is barking. But I told him, I said, "Hey man," I said, "you got to wait on this live show." Someone says, "Have H." Talk about Typhoon H. For a week now, love it. Can't wait till you pull apart. It is a game changer. Well, I'm excited to get my hands on the Typhoon H. If you've seen my videos, you know that I canceled my initial Typhoon H pre-order because of feedback from fans. I was concerned about whether or not it would even hit the market, and if it did, I was concerned about whether or not it would get pulled from the market. And I'm still cautiously optimistic. I mean, I hope it performs well, but it's I don't know. That's good to hear. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about Typhoon H. Heard a lot of bad things. There's a lot of reports out there of people with gimbal problems already, but that's nothing new. People bash the Phantom. People bash every drone. So I mean, you can't really know until you have your hands on it. Hands-on controller out in your own little field or whatever. Someone says your dog is loud. Yes, my dog is very loud, and my cat is too. I'll get him over here in a second. And someone says, we have not got drone registration in New Zealand, but have official rules and can be funded or imprisoned for breaking the law. One guy has already been dealt with. Interesting. What is your opinion of the DJI Matrice 600? My opinion is that for my purposes, it's something that I personally wouldn't use. My perception of that drone is that it's a development type drone. If someone was into developing aerial technology, software technologies, etc., it could possibly be a good option to consider there. But for me, it's just something that I personally wouldn't have a use for. Someone says the retracts and 360 camera is a game changer on the H. Great point. And actually, if DJI was smart, and hopefully the Typhoon H will encourage them to do this, DJI would also create a future Phantom that has retractable landing gear in a camera that can rotate 360 degrees. You know, look at that. My background looks significantly better. Did y'all notice that? It just popped up. This camera that I'm using is it's flaky. It was doing the background looked washed out. Now it looks really vivid again. Interesting. Why do you have such a super big cat? Well, let me. That's a question that he would better answer. Let me grab him here, and I will let him answer that. Hey, Sean Coonery. The fans. Hey, man. The fans are asking about why I have such a super big cat. Well, a super big cat is a requirement, because when you're doing YouTube, look how big he is. This is Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat. If you haven't seen him already, you can find his personal resume, SeanCoonery.com. He graduated from Purdue University. He is very well educated, and actually he's a cat model. So if you're looking for a feline model for any of your personal projects, or you know someone that is, he's available for green screen work, both stills and videos. So shoot him a message, SeanCoonery.com, and I'm his agent. So you can get a hold of Sean Coonery through me. Love your cat. He is beautiful. I agree. He agrees that he is. He says he's the most beautiful cat in the universe. Let's see. Someone asked what the background is. Yeah, the picture really, this camera is a piece of junk that I'm using right now, so I'm going to get another one for the next live show. But it looks vivid now. This background, this is actually the Waldorf Astoria in New York City. It's a very, you've probably heard of it. It's a very well-known historic hotel. Although I will say the service and you know, I'll say what it is. The customer service experience in the hotel was not up to snuff, in my opinion. I hate to say that, because it's a wonderful hotel, but the people that were nice, everybody there was super friendly, but they just didn't have their I guess it was their computer system or something was in a state of chaos, and it was just a very I didn't feel like I was somewhere nice. I felt like I was in a I don't know. The people were nice. The staff were all super nice, but it's like their own abilities were for some reason destroyed because of the technology they were having to use to deal with the hotel. But we did get a lot of free drink vouchers, because I'm not going to go into a situation like that and not acknowledge that the experience was subpar. So yeah, we had free drinks all week, which was pretty cool. Let's see. Someone asked a question. Let's see. A lot of questions here. Let's see. Sorry, I just scrolled down with the questions here. Yeah, someone said that thing is the size of you. Yeah, he's huge. I mean, he is a big Maine Coon cat. He's huge, and that's not special effects. That's reality. Is your cat afraid of drones? I'm sure he would be, but he stays indoors. He's not outside with the drones flying. Someone says all DJI should have had retractable landing gear and 360 camera. I agree. And the reason we don't see it on the Phantom right now is because they've got it on the Inspire, and they don't want to risk hampering the sales of their Inspire, because that's the big selling point, that and the dual controller option. What they don't realize is that if they offered dual controller option, retractable landing gear, modular 360 degree camera, they would sell a heck of a lot more. And they could even offer it at a, an enhanced price point over the other top of the line Phantom model at that point in time. I mean, it's not something where people, I mean, if it was a little bit more, I would be happy to spend a little bit more to have that functionality and not have the big, I got to carry the Inspire 1. It's too big. It's too heavy. Offer someone an alternative to the Typhoon H. And maybe that's a good reason why the Typhoon H came out, is that it'll encourage DJI to get on that bandwagon and get that Phantom model out there. When you fly over water, do you seem to lose altitude? Not just over water, but actually with the Phantom 4 in general. I did not notice when I say lose altitude, it's a very minor altitude drop, at least with mine. With my Phantom 4, I do notice the altitude drop. Never noticed it with my previous models. My Phantom 3 Pro, Phantom 2 Vision Plus, Phantom 2, or DJI Phantom. But for some reason, the Phantom 4 does seem to encounter a moderate altitude drop on occasion. So have y'all seen that? And have you seen it if it's not over water? It's a weird thing. Good way to test it too is to put your Phantom into a hover, and you can and then just kind of go slowly forward, and you may be able to see it. More comments below. God, there are so many messages coming through here. Sorry, I'm just scrolling up here. We are going here. They market the Phantom exactly like Apple, unlike their products are modular. Someone says, no, spend a little more and get the Phantom 3 Advanced. It has light bridge. Again, check out my website, epicdroneshow.com, and you can go there to the Phantom 3 section, or actually just it's the Phantom section. You can find the DJI Phantom 1, Phantom 2, Phantom 2 Vision Plus, all four of the Phantom 3 models, and the Phantom 4, and all the accessories. So it's all there, easy to go through. It's again, with the Phantom 3, the biggest thing there, if you're going for Phantom 3, you need to decide, do I need light bridge or is Wi-Fi sufficient for me? And that's the big thing with Phantom 3 shopping. Someone says Apple or locked product and cannot really customize them. Well, Apple is the way I like to refer to Apple, and it's a little different now than when we had Steve Jobs. Tim Cook does a good job in my opinion, but he's not Steve Jobs. Apple is a design company. They're not just selling a product, they're selling a piece of digital art, and they've entranced people. And I'm not one of those people. I use Apple because I use Final Cut Pro 10, but I'm not an Apple fanboy. So I do all my editing on a Mac, so that I use Final Cut Pro 10. But in all of this right now, this live show is being streamed through a Mac, by the way. But it's Apple is a design company, and they're selling that digital art. So it's pretty much you buy it, and then if you're a fanboy, you're getting every new version, which I don't do that. I upgrade as needed. Something cool to check out if you haven't, you can. There's a website called Gazelle, Gazelle, and they buy a lot of Apple gadgets, Apple computers, Apple laptops, smartphone, Apple cell phones, iPhones, iPads. So if you are the type person that wants to upgrade, they've got, you probably get a little bit of money for your previous model, but I don't upgrade that frequently. So, let's see. Do the / motion with your hands. There we go. / And see, that's the thing on camera, / is the opposite direction from what you think it may be. So I think I got that correct. Today is my birthday. Not my birthday, but it's Davis's birthday. So happy birthday, Davis, from IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. Okay. This is the best time to fly a drone to sun is at night. Um, yeah, I never fly at night. I'm not sure. I never fly at night. Well, we're getting this show is kind of getting long. We're already over an hour. So what I'm going to do, I appreciate everyone joining again. This was not a scheduled event, but it was cool that we had a large turnout for this unscheduled event. But going forward, I plan to have a lot more shows and a lot of live shows. I know some of these have not been live, but I think it's more fun to be able to interact with everyone live. So I appreciate your viewership and your comments. And hey, everything's got to end. This is over an hour. I got work to do, and I've got to also plan to figure out when I can do the next live show. So check out my Facebook fan page, facebook.com/IrixGuy if you haven't already. I'll keep everyone abreast of upcoming live shows there. Obviously, you can also find the live shows, on my main channel, youtube.com/IrixGuy. That's where you're watching this. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. And also, as you've seen throughout this video, epicdroneshow.com. I'll post this video and all previous and upcoming Epic Drone Show videos there. And again, I've got all the drones, the drone accessories, all of that on epicdroneshow.com. So if you can't find what you're looking for, shoot me a message. And Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat, now I'll try our best to find that for you. But I appreciate your viewership, and y'all have a good day.